All right, welcome back to our Tri-State Training Day podcast. I got my man Sam Chehab with me from Detroit, Michigan, who's been putting up some serious numbers. Hasn't been with us a long time, but is well over 300 families and aiming to knock down that Hall of Fame status for year end. And we are right there. Sam, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on today. How are you?
Man, I'm great, man. It's a pleasure being here with you guys. I appreciate the company. I appreciate everything that you guys do for the agents. It's a beautiful thing what you guys got going on.
Yeah,
It's a
man. I
beautiful.
mean, one of the things you said before we got on the podcast is like you feel like you found your dream. Did you say dream job? No, your calling. You said you
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
like
you
my.
found your calling. I mean, that's a big statement, Um, break that down.
I'm gonna tell you something. So I'm a huge believer in karma. What goes around comes around. You do your people right. And like I've been bouncing around job to job. I own businesses. I own car washes. I own consulting companies. And this I take like that personal aspect of the insurance industry, and that's what I kind of hit it on. It's nice touching base and actually finding. I find it really interesting and looking into other people's lives and what they do day to day and how they raise their kids. How you I kind of just like getting um bits and pieces and kind of joining it all together, if that makes sense.
It
You know, and I
does.
and I, fo- and I found that in the insurance industry. You know what I mean? There's
That's huge.
my mentor, man. He's a beast. He's been telling me, he's like, bro, just he's been trying to get me in the industry. He's like, man, I know you're a killer. I know you're a killer. I was like, it's kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street scene. When they're sitting in the diner and he's like, oh, you show me your check, and I'll quit my job right now and I'm gonna work for you. You know. It was kind of something like that, and I was like, what? I'm like, Mike, let me just shadow you for a week or two, man. And he's like, okay, so I kind of got the gist of it. I was like, it's pretty straightforward, numbers don't lie, that's the main thing is, transparency. That's what
Mhm.
I love about this, about everything's in black and white. You
Right,
know what I mean? Because I was in the medical marijuana industry for a long time
right.
and I was a consultant, so I was helping people getting their licenses. And so when something would go wrong, so I'm kind of used to that getting up at 2, 3 in the morning when the AC unit gets out.
hmm
I gotta get a HVAC guy out, get him to fix the problem. So
hmm
it's nice knowing that I can do everything on my own.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I don't gotta reach out, get up out of my bed late at night and stuff like that.
That's huge, man. Where are you coming from? What did you do? You said you had multiple businesses and different jobs, things you were hopping from thing to thing. You found something. What were you doing prior to this?
I had it's called Build Operations. I actually had a medical marijuana consulting company.
It was your
So
company.
yeah, yes sir,
Okay.
yes sir.
How did you stumble
And
upon that?
man, honestly, same thing. When we started the legalization process, I was like, this seems like a great opportunity. I was like a green thumb runs in my family. Like literally, it's like over here in Detroit, it's about like 30, 40 degrees outside. Growing up, I see my pops, he's always in the garden. My dad, he moved here from Lebanon,
Mm.
about 40, 50 years ago. And he still got that village man mentality. So
Huh.
he's growing his own vegetables, growing his own fruits. He got date trees and he has to wrap them up during the winter time. So I kind of like, and I was always helping him out. I was like, hey man, there got to be a way we could capitalize on it. And then Laura passed, the Medical Marijuana Act where legalized it in Michigan.
Right.
So as long as you had your caregiver and you got there's different kinds of licensing, class
hmm
A, B,
hmm
C,
hmm
and I kind of I had a green thumb, my whole life. So that's what I was doing, and then I found something where I don't got to get as dirty, working in dirt all day, shoveling, digging, transferring. And I was like, hey, this is great money. You're helping out a lot of people. I have um, my main joy is honestly is helping out the families.
hmm
Honestly, I really don't start talking about insurance until maybe 2, 3 minutes into the conversation.
Sure.
Kind of just feeling out. So what do you do for a living? What do you own? What do your kids do? What sports are you into? Do you drive a bike? I kind of like to touch base.
Right.
Every single client on like a mutual connection.
That's fantastic. It makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, it's funny, you found something that you could, put everything you had into it. Is that fair? I mean, obviously, if you
1000%.
start a business, like let's say a medical marijuana business, you're going to put everything you have into it.
One thousand
But
percent.
there must have been a wall or two or three or four or five that you hit where the vision of scale that you had in mind wasn't as near to you as you thought. Would that be a fair statement?
1000%.
Talk to us about the wall. It was something that you couldn't scale, and then I want to contrast it to this.
So, like with the old industry I was in, it fluctuates like crazy, dude.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Especially like you got to go through everything with the state, and it's a timely process. You know what I mean? And every client's needs and wants is different. Just like every genetic, every plant. Some plants like more warm temperatures, and so it's kind of a hard like adjusting over. Um, I was just basically learning how to communicate with the clients. You know what I mean? And when I
mm,
first started, man, I was getting hung up on because right away
mm,
I sounded so cliche. You know, I was just, hey, this is Sam calling, and I didn't do that anymore.
mm.
I got hung up, I got cussed out, and 9 times out of 10, the clients that are hanging up on my phone, those end up being some of the best genuine people.
Wow.
You know, um, there is times where I just got to make analogies. You know what I mean? Just to break it down, like, hey, this is how it works. And a lot of people, I don't want to say, they just don't understand the process. One of my biggest barriers that I had to break through was actually um, getting to know the client. You know what I mean? Before I even attempt to make a sale.
Mm,
Like every one of my calls, it does take a few hours, but half of the time I'm literally talking about their kids, their dogs, their cats, whatever they like.
mhm.
That's what I like too. You know what I mean? You always got to find the mutual connection. But just that the main barrier that I had was really just getting clients to open up to me. And as soon as I got them to open up to me, it was a walk in the park every single time.
And it's funny because your personality seems very warm and very welcoming, but did you have a preconceived notion that you didn't need to do that, and then you found out that you did, or did you realize like, hey, I just need to be me? Like, what was it that got you to that place?
Honestly, I was like, I just got to be myself more. That's all it was. I was trying to, like you go on. I watch so many YouTube videos about, how to connect with clients, and like all these guys, they all sound the same.
Mm,
They always gave the same spiel, the same, and it's more like
hmm,
a lot of people when you talk about insurance, it's an uncomfortable topic. You know what I mean? When you're talking, this is something a safety net for your family. It's a safeguard for your family. And when I kind of just put my real life experiences with my clients,
mm,
um, that streamlined the process and made it so much easier, to actually I don't even like making the sale. I like saying, getting this family protected.
right.
It's a blessing because karma is real, man.
Mm,
That's one thing that I realized. Karma is real, bro. I mean, you got to just do the right thing every single time, and
right.
it's especially when people hang up on you,
Mm.
it gets unmotivating. You're like, man, do I want to do this again? Do I want to make this other call with this lead? It's kind of just putting your ego at the door, and it's like, you know what? I gotta just stop trying to be something I'm not and just
Mm,
be exactly who I am. And
right.
when I started doing that, and I started like showing people, hey, this is the guy I am. I'm not just an insurance agent. You know what I mean? I'm not just a broker. I'm a human being just like you. And I got my worries, and I know you got your worries.
Mm,
And that's what I'm here. I'm here to kind of someone that you can confide in. You ever have a problem, or honestly, I even tell my clients, man, look, bro, if you have a long day, bro, give me a call. I don't
that's
mind
strong.
hopping on the call with you 5, 10 minutes. We don't even got to talk about insurance, man. You can talk to me about that your dog, God forbid, is about to have surgery, and you just want somebody to vent to, just somebody to talk to. And I kind of like to keep that relationship with each one of my clients. It gets tough. There's um a lot of people reaching out, and I literally always make time for every single one of my clients. And when I started like really focusing on when I really just started focusing on my clients rather than myself, I swear to God, it was game changing. It was the big
Mm.
game changer. I always put myself on the back burner and be like, hey man, I'm tired, but let's get to 11 o'clock at night. I got a client texting me, hey Sam, how are you?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm great, Rachel. What's going on today? How you doing? Oh,
Right.
I had this happen to me at work and this. I said, okay, well, keep positive mindset. You
Right.
know what I mean? It could always be worse.
Right.
Thank God you got a job. A lot of people don't even have a job.
That's
Times
strong,
are hard
bro.
right now, and you just kind of just um, you gotta feel for the client, man. They're people, just like me and you, man. They're
Right.
people.
Uh-huh.
They got emotions. They got feelings. You know what I mean? And if when you make that personal connection, and that's how you get a lot of referrals, man. 90% of my
Huh.
clients are all referrals.
Wow.
You know, literally, it's I'll start off with a guy who like an abandoned cart. You know what I mean? And I end up writing, oh, I got my brother-in-law. He wants to do the same thing. Oh, I got my cousin. I got my brother. So it's kind of just basically I don't focus on the sale because it's gonna come regardless.
Mm.
If like one of my mottos, that I tell all my downlines, excuse my language, all I say is don't be a piece of. You know what I mean? Literally, I'm like, be a good guy, dude. You know what I mean? If uh if a guy got 30K left on
That
his
was
mortgage,
fast.
excuse my language,
Nah,
man.
you
Again,
can.
I got. And another thing, I always say is, I could either talk to you like your insurance agent, or I could talk to you like a friend. You know, 98 98% of the time, my clients tell me, talk to me like a friend. And I know, yeah, and that's what I've been sticking to, and it works for me. You know,
You're so likable. I mean, very simple to talk to you, and I can see the humanization of your process. I used to do a lot of the same things because the moment you start humanizing everything, hey, can I talk to you like you're my own mom? Hey, do you mind if I talk to you like you're my brother? It just changes everything. The guard goes down. People become, but your approach is spot on, and obviously you're helping a ton of families. You know, you're helping 30 plus families a month in a little bit of time. You've only been here 8 months, and you're well over 300 families for the year. So like whatever you're doing is working. So like this is a podcast. We're trying to reach people and trying to help them understand what's possible through a vehicle like this. When you stumbled upon this vehicle, you shadowed Mike for 2 weeks. What made you say, why not me?
honestly, I seen his ambition, and honest to God, like leadership, your leader is literally will make or break you. If you got a good foundation and a good team around you, bro, that's nothing but support and love. It literally makes it so much of an easier process. Especially even because before I even got into this industry, me and Mike, we went to high school together. And and he's like, you just got to do it. And I was like, man, I'm kind of iffy. I'm kind of iffy because the way I am, if I love you, I love you. I can't half love anything I do. It's a love or hate. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna fix my car, I'm gonna fix it 1,000% correctly. I got major like OCD. Everything got to be perfect.
Mm,
And there's no point in hitting the brakes. Never hit the brakes. Just it's always full throttle all the way down. If I got to work 70, 80 hours a week, it is what it is. I
mhm,
sleep when I'm dead.
mhm,
You know.
mhm,
So it's kind of like it was tough to bite the gun or to bite the bullet, but as soon as I just shadowed and I seen what this industry was really about and like that, like the culture of the industry, that was like, what, maybe this could work. When the first month my numbers were trash, and then I sat down, I was like, hey man, I don't think this is for me. He's like, Sam, let's role play. He's like, no man, you're messing up. You're sounding like a typical telesales agent. You know what I mean? Because 90% of it is all virtual. I
mm,
do Zoom. Zoom is my best friend.
mm,
Zoom screen share. You know what I mean? And as soon as I did that, and it was good. It was good. A lot of it has to do with the leadership, man. And then you just got to be hungry for it, man. You can't just like my old industry, like the medical marijuana. If I didn't show love and care to each one of the plants, they're not going to produce. The quality's not going to be there. You're going to get
wow.
mites. It's going to get dirty. You know what I mean? So I treat the clients like that. Every client has his own needs. Every client has his own thoughts. Every client likes something different. You know what I mean? Some people are on the investment side. Some people are on, hey, I just want, God forbid, I want to leave something for my family. So you kind of got to find out, hey, what was your purpose of your inquiry? Why do you want insurance? Are you a single father? Are you a single mother? Are you divorced? Happy? Are you family? Big family? Five, six kids? What are you looking for the insurance for?
Mm,
You know what I mean? If it's a businessman, okay, so we're looking for something that has downside protection, or it's all about every client's gonna have a different need.
mm,
Every client's gonna have a different want. You know what I mean? Um, you just gotta find that, and when you find that and you just make that connection, it just it like makes the transition so easy, the transaction so easy, everything's so straightforward. It's transparency is key. You know what I mean? And the blessing is that um, we can shop around. You know what I mean? I'm not subjected to one carrier. I
Right.
can go through 10 different carriers if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Of
Right.
course, I have my favorites, but that's the main thing is we could find something that what the client wants, what they need, what they want the insurance for, what they reached out to us about. You know?
Your approach is very refreshing. I mean, it's calming. That's the
Yeah.
best way to say it. Is your approach is very calming. But okay, so you had a terrible first month. You realized it was phone script and you had mentorship guidance. Cool. What was your work ethic like? What were you doing for leads to get to stop popping success?
Honestly, abandoned carts. Abandoned cart leads are my absolute favorite
Eat
because that
those.
means somebody. I'm sorry. Yeah, somebody. I'm telling you, those are my favorite leads to go to. Because somebody made the inquiry, so it means at one point they were interested. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
what made you stop that process? Was the numbers weren't right? Would you just okay? You don't feel like filling out the application online? Why'd you stop? You know what I mean? Did you just feel uncomfortable? What is it? Talk to me. That's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I started getting like those abandoned carts leads and like the MIP, like the mortgage protection leads, I like those. You know what I mean? Because I could tell them I could go through America and be like, hey, okay, so you're in a 20-year mortgage. Um, you owe 70K left on your mortgage. So we'll get you covered, God forbid, for 70K. If anything happens, your family gets covered. And at the end of that term, you're gonna get your money back. So it's tax free as well. So it's a win-win. You're protecting your family and it's working as an investment at the same time. So it's like the little ones like that. Just you just got to make it make sense.
No doubt. And
You
so
know.
those leads, and then when you started, you know, was it Zoom from day one?
I tried door knocking. I didn't like it.
Mm,
I didn't like driving. I didn't like just knocking on doors. I don't know. It made me feel uneasy. You know what I mean? Because I
mm,
wouldn't want somebody knocking on my door. You
mm.
know what I mean? Like I'm sitting with my wife and kids. You know what I mean? Somebody comes banging on the door. You know.
It's
And
so
look,
funny the way the industry has changed, Sam. I mean, that's all we did. And now you're saying like that's just weird. And I'm not mad because, virtuals take it is like it's fully in the air. Like it's way above the ground. So it's so funny. But your approach is like, ill, like doorknob, like ill, like who's
I'm
doing
like,
that?
nah,
I'm like,
it's not for me.
what?
It's
But I
not for
get
me.
it though, because it's efficiencies and time and then the way it makes you feel and the way you can sell. So keep going.
Man, gas is expensive too, man. Gas is expensive. I mean, I drive a motorcycle, but at the end of the day, every dollar counts. You know what I mean? And I don't really like imagine you pull up at a client, and on a Yamaha, woo woo, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. You know what I mean? And so I was like, you know what, the virtual, it's much better, and I can reach out to so many more people. Like I will literally make 3, 4 calls back to back. Honestly, I'm that annoying guy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, hey man, let's just go ahead and knock this out, bro. Procrastination is no good. We don't believe in that around here. Um, it'll take me a couple hours to knock this out. Very simple. I'm gonna stay on the phone with you the whole entire time. You know what I mean? And I like to, I always like to make it personable. You know what I mean? I'm cracking jokes the whole
Mm-hmm,
time
mm-hmm.
about dumb stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all about like when I answer the phone, I'm not saying, hey, this is Sam. I'm calling. I'm like, hey, what's up, my guy? How
Right.
you doing? How you been?
Uh-huh.
Good,
Uh-huh.
good. But your inquiry, man, why'd you stop?
Huh.
You know what I mean? And
What?
it's like I
About
swear
your
to God,
inquiry, why'd you stop? Like they have no idea what you're talking about.
and until I tell them, like, oh, it's because if I'm
Right.
talking to you, right,
Right.
and if you just see me in a grocery store and I walk up to
Why'd you
you, I'm
stop?
like, hey, my guy, how you been? Are you gonna
I'd be
turn
like,
around and walk
dude,
away from me?
who are you talking to?
You, you'll be like me. I'm like, yeah, you. What's up, bro? It's Sam. How you been?
What's
Bro,
up, my
I'm
guy?
telling
How you been?
hey,
What's
it works. It works. It works. It works.
about
It
your
works.
inquiry, man? Why'd you stop?
Literally,
Inquiry.
so
What do
what?
you?
Like, help me help you. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, bro, I got you. You're in good hands. You know what I mean? And honestly, that's bro. You just gotta be a person. I swear to God.
I'm not angry, man. Why'd you stop?
Hey, it works,
My
man. I'm telling
chest
you,
is.
it's crazy because look, like that. You're not gonna tell me like you're not gonna act like you don't know me. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be like you're not gonna turn around and walk away from me. You know? So it's like, hey, bro, come on, let's get 10 minute Zoom. Just hop on. You know? And it just goes from there. You know, I kind of just trying to make them laugh throughout the process, and it makes it easy. You know? And
if
they'll,
it,
they'll, they'll
if you're making people laugh like I'm laughing, yeah, it's very easy.
yeah, bro. People are humans, dude.
Yeah,
People go through things that you and I can't even imagine.
right.
You know what I mean? And that's on a day to day, bro. And
Yeah.
if you could be that little shimmering light at the end of the tunnel for them, you
Mm.
know what I'm like, hey man, just make people feel good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's if I make somebody feel good about themselves and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna want to proceed. You know what I mean? You can't and nothing is wrong with giving out compliments. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey man, your energy is great.
Yeah.
I love your energy. You know, I will never match somebody's energy
Mm.
because some people sometimes they're under the weather, they're not feeling right, or so if I get on the phone, hey my guy, hey what do you want? Hey my bro, why are you upset at me?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we're gonna do. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get your family protected. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
keep the price at a minimal. Make sure it's something you could afford, something in your budget. But God forbid anything happens to you, your family does have that safety net.
Mm.
You know, and I can't match somebody's energy. If somebody's excited to see me, of course, I'm gonna be 10 times more excited to see them.
Right.
But if somebody's sad or they're down, they're human beings, bro. Everybody's a human.
Mm.
If they're having a bad day, if they're just got in a fight with their kid or with their wife or just something's at work is not going well, let them talk to you about it.
Mm.
Like I don't want to say like be a therapist, but it's okay if you touch base with their emotions a little
Mm.
bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Brother, talk to me. Tell me what's on your mind.
Mm.
What's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't worry, that's what I'm here for. And if you need me, bro, literally, here's my cell phone number. You could, man, I don't care what time. I'm an owl, bro. I don't sleep.
Wow.
You know, you could text me whenever you want. You could call me whenever you want. If
That's
I don't
huge.
answer, give me an hour or two, and I will reach back out, bro.
I would have
You know,
send you a lot of business too.
and
You know what I mean? I'd be sending you my family and friends too. That's a very refreshing. I keep saying refresh. That's a very refreshing approach, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's a very humanized approach.
and when I started doing that, bro, this
Changed
guy will tell
everything.
me I'll end up writing 15 policies of one client.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And um, the most honest to God truth. I wrote 26 policies off of one family.
Wow.
26 policies off of one family one time, and it was great, great, great people.
Wow.
Literally great people. They're like, we've been looking into it because they lost their father,
Mm.
right? And they're man, I can only imagine the pain this family was going through. You know what I mean? And the first time, when I guess it was a son that made an inquiry. I talked to the mother, and she was I'm like, listen, um, I know it's a super tough time. Just whenever you get a few minutes, give me a call back, um, and we'll talk about it. And so, after that, I was like, we can make everything, and everybody was like under the age of 18, 19. There was a whole bunch of grandkids. And basically, like, okay, so I want to put a policy on my son. I want to put a policy on my daughter. I want to put a policy on my grandkids. I want to put a policy on, and it kind of just kept streaming along, and that was probably maybe 3 months into the industry. And that's when I realized, okay, these aren't clients. You
Mm.
can't label them as clients.
Mm.
These are people. These are people that it's maybe they're. I mean, any kind of deaf dude is horrible. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's a safety net for the family.
Right.
As long as you could just stress that. I mean, even if it's not always about the coverage and about the premium, it's about just making them feel secure. And if you could do that, you don't gotta. If somebody if they're making 30, 40K a year, it doesn't make sense to put their premium at $200, $250 a month. It's okay to write a $40 policy, $30 policy. You know what I mean? As long as
Right.
they're covered enough to pay for the final expenses. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Mm.
Um, Nowadays, especially with inflation is real.
Yeah.
Funeral costs, a burial cost, a headstone, like it's expensive. It gets
Right.
expensive, and it's a shame when especially somebody they got to make like a GoFundMe page, you know? to pay for their family's funeral, and it's a horrible thing, and it's a super sad thing to see. You know what I mean? But um, that's basically it. And honestly, I stopped partying a long time ago. I don't really go do the club scene or the bar scenes anymore. But I used to be. I'm friends with a lot of dancers,
Mm,
right? And it's the being a dancer is a very 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 dangerous career path. It's a
mm,
very dangerous job, and I always tell them, I say, hey, um, how long do you plan on doing this for? You could put you into a CBO, can put you into an IUL. You're young. Um, let's focus on your investment for your future. 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, you're gonna get back a nice check. You know what I mean? You're making money right now. Put that money up. Put a little bit to the side just for your for your safety, your family safety. Because you know how many dancers that I've seen on a GoFundMe page, and
mm,
it's sad. These girls 20, 21 years old, and family can't afford a funeral.
mm.
And it's all about honesty, bro. Every client is different, man. There's no two clients that are the same.
Right.
Every client is gonna have something different going on in their life. Every single client is gonna have something crazy going on, or and it's nice to actually like pick their brain to
Yeah.
see like what they got going on in their head.
I can
You
see
know,
that, man, and I can see the success it's having for you. When you look at your agency and recruiting agents and helping agents with understand what you understand, how's that going?
you know what? Look, I don't do anything mandatory, and I say, hey, if you want to learn, um, there's a desk right next to my desk. Just sit down next to me, and you're gonna listen to me talk. That's it. You know what I mean? You're gonna take notes, and I'm very, very thorough with that. You know what I mean? I make sure everything is, I have a big TV that I'll literally put everything on. Like here's
Mm,
how we do it. Here's how we reach out. Here's a text message you're gonna send out. Here's a voicemail you're gonna leave. Because not every client's gonna pick up on the first ring.
mm,
It's all about the texting, the emails. You know what I mean?
right.
And I'll text one of my clients and I'm like, Brad, how you doing today, brother? You doing all right? Yeah, who's this? It's Sam. About your inquiry about insurance.
Mm,
Is everything okay? Yeah, everything is fine. Why are you texting me?
mm,
Bro, you started an application, but you backed out. What's the problem?
mm,
Let me hop on a 5-minute phone call with you. That's it. Give them the gist of a real quick breakdown. Okay, when do you get off work? That's what I'm gonna call you. You kind of got to be forward, but not too forward.
right.
You don't want to be like, you don't want to bully your clients.
Right.
Like, it's not a good thing to do. You
Right.
know what I mean? I'm gonna work around your schedule.
Yep.
If you get off at midnight, don't worry, man. I'm staying up. I'm gonna call you at 12:30. Get home, get settled in, and to be expecting my call at 12:30.
Wow.
You know, and I'll keep it straight like that. There's times I close policies at 11 p.m. at night,
Right.
midnight, one
Mm-hmm.
o'clock in the morning. You know what
Mm,
I mean? And it's like I said, man, literally, you just gotta attend to your client's needs. That's the main thing. You just tending to every client is different, man. You just gotta attend to them.
I would say this is a training clinic, and I think if you're listening closely, you realize that Sam's cadence is all about the clients, all about the people, and knowing that if he can take care of and listen and be dialed in for the time that he's on with that person, it's exponential. That's what you've taught me today, Sam, that you can create an exponential business by caring and
One
by
thousand
having
percent.
a heart for the people.
1,000%.
I
One thousand
appreciate you,
percent.
man, jumping on and dropping gems, I would say. I mean, gems. I mean, if I wanted to model what you were doing, I could listen to this podcast and I could find a way to get closer to your cadence. I just have to let my shoulders down a little bit more. I don't have to become you, but I have to listen to your cadence to understand the psychology of why you're doing what you're doing. If I can listen close enough to get your psychology, then maybe my shoulders drop a little bit and I'm not, hey, my guy, maybe I'm not there when I'm all said and done, but maybe I'm close, bro, which is all we need. I just need someone to go a little bit closer than they were yesterday. So you killed it, man. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Of course,
Appreciate
man.
you,
I,
brother.
I I appreciate you guys having me. It was an honor. It was a pleasure meeting you. Um, Again, man, thank you guys again. I appreciate you inviting me on the podcast and picking my brain a little bit. I do appreciate that.
This one has a lot of gems in it, guys. Make sure you listen in. God bless. Take care.